Does this card finally have no strings to hold it down? Find out what's going on as I hereby invite everyone to join me on my adventures through Marvel Snap. Hey everybody, it's Annabelle. So we got a brand new patch. It's kind of big and kind of small at the same exact time. Altogether, there are 10 buffs that have happened. And no nerfs, but one of the buffs is because of the fact that we have to talk about Infinity Ultron, which is 7 buffs in one, technically speaking. Well, 6, because Infinity Ultron came down a little bit. It went from a 5.8 to a 5.6, but each and every one of its single stones went way up. First of all of its stones got changed to 2 power instead of 3 power, so each and every stone in it got moved down by 1 power point. So if you consider the fact that it's 2 stones that you get, that's shaving off the 2 power that you're getting from the fact that it moved down 2 power in itself. But a lot of these stones got way better. So let's talk about the stone. First stone that we have up is the Infinity Stone. The Infinity Power Stone, which got changed from a 3-2 to a 2-1. Same exact power that it works on. Next stone we have is the Reality Stone. Reality Stone got changed from a 3-1 to a 2-1. Next we have the Time Stone. Time Stone got changed from a 3-1 to a 2-3. So not all of them even went down. Now the big one that we have in here is the Infinity Space Stone. Infinity Space Stone got changed from a 3-4 to a 2-5. This is huge for Infinity Ultron on itself, as it was hard to win the location. Now if you play this into Infinity Ultron's spot, you're most likely going to win the location, because that's basically 11 just by itself. Next one that we have up is the Soul Stone. By this one moving down, it makes it a lot easier for you to actually fill up locations if you can play out Infinity Ultron earlier. And the last one that we have to talk about is the Mind Stone. Mind Stone got changed from a 3-2 to a 2-2. Basically, Wong on a stick. It's always been Wong on a stick. While this makes Infinity Ultron a lot better, it still is going to require you to run some extra cards in this, because the best thing about this is now you can run the Quinjet and have these all come down as 1, which means you can slip in a 4-drop if you just go with the regular 6 turn. And even without the Quinjet, you're getting what it would be with the Quinjet that you used to have. While a lot of these stones have been mediocre in the past, with this change for them being 3s to them being 2s, it means a lot more of them are going to be able to be slipped in a lot earlier. Next buff that we have here is we have the buff to Giganto. Giganto got changed from a 6-14 to a 6-16. I honestly think that this might be a little bit too little, too late for Giganto. As good as Giganto is, the restriction that you get off of it is not quite enough for the fact of just playing a 6-16. If this was honestly just a 6-16 by itself with no restriction, I doubt it would even see play. That's how much that 6 drop needs to matter now. So I'm not sure what you could do, because 6-18 sounds ridiculous, because then you're really treading on the Infinauts' game space and game mentality. Figure Infinity Ultron, Infinite is the big get in the game. You have to go through less hoops to get to Giganto than you do for the Infinite, and you really can only shove this a few more points up in anywhere in the future before you really start fighting that. Next one that we have up is Omega Red. Omega Red got changed from a 4-5 to a 4-6. I would have rather this go down to a 4-4 and give +4 instead of +3. The simple fact is that as long as Omega Red has the same power output as a Mr. Fantastic, nobody's going to play the Omega Red. It's not enough to win you a location like Death's Domain or Sanctum Sanctorum, because if your opponent plays a simple Doom bot, Dr. Doom, and throws out Doom bots, the Doom bots are going to basically kill the Omega Red hit ability. And to win on the location with Omega Red, I wish it did more. There's almost a part of me that would rather this go down to like a 4-2-ish and do 6 if it's winning the location, meaning that you get the payoff for when you win, not so much the payoff from playing this down. It will win a few more times because that 1 point is enough, but it's still not quite enough to actually do anything. And last little buff that we have for today is going to be Super Giant. Super Giant got changed from a 4-5 to a 4-7. It really shows something, it really means something when you take a card and give it 2 points of power, about how bad it was in seeing any kind of play. The problem with this is this is at her peak now. Any more power than this is impossible to do with her. You can't make her a 4-8, otherwise she just becomes a generally good card, and everybody's just going to play her for just being a 4-8 stat line. But even at 4-7, you really have to need a reason to hide that card. And a lot of times the defensiveness that you can get from Super Giant isn't enough for the offensive penalty that you take on it. So I really am curious if this is going to change anything, do anything. But all in all, it's not a big patch, and I think that's mostly because of the fact that we just had a patch not that long ago which took down a lot of the big hitters, and the fact that they've got another competition coming up in just a little bit of time and they didn't want to do a big swing. Anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, play for fun.